Right now, somewhere in your day, there is a 5-minute window. You don't notice it. It feels too small to matter. But that 5-minute window is quietly deciding the next 10 years of your life. Sounds dramatic. It isn't. Here is the rule. Whenever you feel resistance to doing something, start it for just 5 minutes. Not the whole task, not the whole workout, not the whole conversation. Just 5 minutes. And here is why this tiny rule works better than almost anything else you've tried. Your brain is not afraid of the task, it is afraid of the size of the task. Psychologist Robert Cialdini studied something called the foot in the door effect. Once someone agrees to a small request, they are far more likely to agree to a larger one later. The first yes changes everything, not because the task got easier, but because you became someone who already said yes. The 5-minute rule works the same way on yourself. You are not asking your brain to write the report. You are asking it to open the document. You are not asking it to run 5 kilometers. You are asking it to put on your shoes. 5 minutes is small enough that your brain cannot find a good excuse to say no. And here is the strange part. Once you start, something shifts. Neuroscientist McGonigal has explained that the hardest part of any difficult task is the transition. The moment before you begin, when your brain is still comparing the comfort of doing nothing to the effort of starting. Once you cross that threshold, the resistance drops sharply. Not because the task became easier, because the decision has already been made. This is called the Zeigarnik Effect, named after psychologist Bluma Zeigarnik, who discovered that once a task is started, the brain creates a kind of mental tension until it is finished. Unfinished tasks linger in your mind. Started tasks pull you to continue. So the 5-minute rule is not really about 5 minutes. It is about crossing the line between not started and started. Everything changes on that side of the line. Think about the last time you didn't want to clean your room, or send an email, or go to the gym. The dread you felt was not about the activity itself. It was about the size of the decision in your head. Your brain saw clean the entire room and froze. But if you had said, just put one item away, just for 5 minutes, your brain would not have resisted at all. This is why so many people who seem disciplined are not actually fighting harder than you. They have just learned to make the first step small enough that resistance never has a chance to build. Now here is where it gets even more interesting. Often, after 5 minutes, you don't stop. You keep going. Not because you forced yourself, but because momentum took over. The hardest part was never the middle of the task. It was the doorway into it. But even if you do stop after 5 minutes, even if you only do the bare minimum, you still win. Because you prove something to your brain. You prove that you are someone who starts. And tomorrow, starting will feel slightly easier. And the day after, easier still. This is how identity is built. Not through massive efforts, through small, repeated proof. Author James Clear has written extensively about how habits compound. Tiny actions, repeated daily, create results that look dramatic from the outside, but were built from almost nothing on the inside. The 5-minute rule is the entry point to that compounding. It is the smallest possible action that still counts as a vote for who you want to become. Here's something most people get wrong. They think motivation comes first and action comes second. Wait until you feel motivated, then you'll start. But it works the other way around. Action creates motivation. Starting, even for 5 minutes, creates the emotional momentum that makes continuing feel natural. Motivation is not the cause of action. It is often the result of it. So the next time you feel that wall of resistance, before a workout, before a hard conversation, before opening your laptop to work on something you've been avoiding, don't try to convince yourself to do the whole thing. Just say 5 minutes, open the document, put on the shoes, pick up the phone, write one sentence. That's it. That's the entire rule. Because the 5-minute window is not really about 5 minutes. It is about who you decide to be in that moment. And every time you choose to start, even just a little, you are casting another vote. The next 10 years of your life are not built in massive, dramatic decisions. They are built in 5-minute windows, repeated quietly every single day. You have one of those windows right now. What you do with it is up to you.